While players will be excited to play through the Diablo 4 storyline, what happens once that's completed? In this video we're going to take a look at the endgame and how Blizzard plans making Diablo 4 a live service game to keep players engaged. As with previous Diablo games, Diablo 4 has numerous difficulty levels. In Diablo 4 these are called world tiers and 5 have been revealed. The first tier is specifically designed for new players, while the highest tier will challenge you to the max with tougher monsters, more powerful gear and a reduction in resistances. This progression will push you towards the endgame, where having reached level 100 you will face an extremely difficult boss at the highest world tier. As well as events in the open world becoming tougher at higher difficulties, there are also specific endgame systems. Helltides. Helltides become available to you once you've reached World Tier 3 and, similar to recently added Diablo 2 Terror Zones, monster difficulty increases and they will drop cinders which can be used to open Helltide chests found throughout the region. The Helltides are worth farming because these chests provide rewards exclusive to a singular item slot, such as torso, legs or two-handed weapon. Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are also part of the endgame, and we've touched on those in our previous Dungeons video. These tougher versions of dungeons are activated with a sigil. Completing them unlocks even more powerful sigils, which make dungeons more challenging at higher world tiers. Tree of Whispers. Aside from the main and side quests, there's still more content to be found in the endgame through the Tree of Whispers. Blizzard described the Tree of Whispers as frequently cycling world objectives and bounties that reward you with legendary gear, experience, crafting materials, grim favours and more. Once you've collected 10 grim favours, you can exchange them at the Tree of Whispers for a bevy of loot, according to Blizzard. The whispers you see on your map will rotate frequently, with new ones becoming available throughout the day for you to track. Each whisper offers both a different set of rewards and experience for completing it. However, the Tree of Whispers content is not available until a specific chapter of the main questline has been completed. Fields of Hatred. While not every player enjoys PvP, it is part of the Diablo 4 endgame and takes place in what are called the Fields of Hatred, which are corrupted areas of Sanctuary. When entering one of these corrupted areas, players can be attacked by other players and can also take part in PvP against any player they are not grouped with. Players can also PvP as a group of up to 4 players. These special zones include objectives and monsters, so you will still have to be on guard against the evil forces of Sanctuary. If a player is killed by another player, the defeated player will drop Seeds of Hatred and also an ear, both of which can be taken by the victor. Should any player die while carrying Seeds of Hatred, the seeds will be dropped for the victor to loot. Seeds of Hatred can be converted to red dust at the Altar of Extraction, and the red dust can then be redeemed at a PvP cosmetic and mount vendor for ornamental rewards. Once Seeds of Hatred are converted to red dust, the red dust currency cannot be looted by other players, which means you'll want to convert them as often as possible. Once at the Altar of Extraction, other players will see you are in the process of changing your Seeds of Hatred into red dust, making you vulnerable to attack with the potential of losing your seeds before they are converted. Interestingly, Blizzard has also stated that players who are stomping all over other players in these PvP zones will be highlighted to other players and a bounty could be placed on their head. Should you take on the challenge of defeating this prolific PvPer, you may be rewarded handsomely. What we don't know. Fields of Hatred zones are likely to appear in various locations, but it's unclear how large these areas will be and whether players will be able to get their hands on PvP-focused loot from vendors within these zones. Blizzard has outlined the aforementioned endgame challenges, but as Diablo 4 is a live service game, it's likely we'll see more endgame content over time. What we don't know is what that will involve and what endgame content will appear during seasons or even future expansions beyond new gear and events. Expansions are likely to shake up the endgame with new zones and of course new classes, but there has not been a time frame set for when these will appear in the future. The full package. As well as these special endgame objectives, as every Diablo player knows, it's the combination of these systems along with the levelling up process, paragon boards, loot hunting and experimenting with builds that makes the Diablo endgame. Every player will tackle the endgame differently and have different goals, but only time will tell how it will play out. Blizzard appears to recognise the importance of the endgame and will be putting considerable resources into making sure there's plenty to do in Sanctuary once the story is completed. To be notified about upcoming videos, please consider subscribing to the Pure Damage YouTube channel.